Clap along if you feel like a room without.
And good afternoon. It's Thursday, and it's time for you to be adrenalized. Why? Because you're here, you're alive, and it's time for you to get the best version of yourself out there. Welcome to the Tom Marino Show. I'm Tom Marino, your host, success strategy coach, and I want you to live an adrenalized life. You know, I've just talking to David, my executive producer, and we were talking about what is coaching. You know, a lot of people ask me, what's coaching, Tom? What is coaching all about? And what type of clients do you really like to work with? And, I've recently changed my strategy a bit and calling myself a success strategist. And why a success strategist? Well, because I want everyone who works with me to feel successful and to be successful. We're talking about everybody who I know that's been successful has had some kind of coach behind them. I was watching the Olympics the other night, and I was watching the figure skating. Actually, last night I was watching the figure skating, and there was a coach there who had 3 or 4 skaters from different countries that he was the coach for. And they were successful. They were in the Olympics because he helped them to get there, right? He helped them to guide them, to help them learn what they needed to learn, put together a program that they needed to put together. And every place you go, there's some kind of coach. Your kid plays Little League, there's a coach. You go to the gym, there's personal trainers, they're coaches. You need help with your money, you find a financial planner or a financial advisor, they coach you on what to do with your money. People are always coaching us from experience and from places to help each other out. And when you're stuck and you're trying to overcome different obstacles in your life, you need someone to help you navigate that obstacle. You need someone who's going to step out there with you and is going to be able to see the road ahead of you before you can even see the road ahead of you. It's like being in a traffic jam. You may be driving home right now, you're stuck in traffic. You don't necessarily know what's up ahead. You don't know what's causing that traffic. I mean, we have things like Waze and these other navigation tools that can tell us there's an accident up ahead or there's something going on up ahead. But imagine if you were flying in a helicopter above where you are right now in that traffic jam. Imagine that helicopter can see everything ahead of you. I always love when you watch like a TV show and you can see a helicopter, it sees what's beyond the accident, what's beyond the pileup, beyond the road closure. That's what my job is as a coach, to help you navigate the obstacles that you are experiencing, to help you get out of your own way, to help you see the road ahead that you don't necessarily see for yourself. And I want to talk about a little bit about the type of clients that come to work with me. And there's a very similar theme. I work specifically with small business owners and entrepreneurs and executives, people that are really trying to run their own businesses, or they run somebody else's business at a high level. But what they're always struggling with? What the common core is their relationships. It comes down to relationships. We need to spend more time working on our relationships. But we don't always see that when we're burnt out or stressed out. I had a client say to me, if I had seen you as if somebody had said to you that you were a relationship strategist, I would not have thought there was a problem in my relationships, and that's why I needed to see you. But he said to me, this guy works with small business owners. He helps you figure out your personal life. He helps you figure out what you do or what you need to do going forward. And that's why she was attracted to come and become a client of mine, because I could help her in her business. But then we always wind up pivoting to people's relationships. So it's really important to understand that my job, my role in your life is to navigate you to success, to give you the strategies that you need to take advantage of the opportunities that are in front of you. If you're just tuning in, this is Tom Marino and the Tom Marino Show. And we're talking today about coaching. Success strategy coaching is what I do. And, we're talking about the different types of people. But one thing that really brings people to me is burnout, you know? And I was watching this past week and I was scrolling through channels to look for something to watch. And I came across the latest episode of Bill Maher. Now, Bill Maher has a lot of interesting guests on his show. He can be very controversial at times. But, you know, he was talking to this guy named Johan Hari, Hari. And he wrote this book called Stolen Focus. And he was talking about the book. And I haven't had a chance to read the book yet, so I don't know how good it is. But it sounded fascinating for people that may be interested in neuroscience and how that is around brain and behavior and the behaviors that we have, right? But the point that he was making was that we're at a very interesting time in our history where human beings, from a behavior perspective, only maintain focus for 3 minutes. Could you imagine only maintaining focus for 3 minutes? I mean, it sounds like you get nothing done. But think about it. We are so easily distracted. We are so easily distracted by our cell phones, by our push notifications, by alerts that come up with the breaking news. You know, everything is breaking news. Nothing is ever just news anymore. It's breaking news, right? The media loves to put something so emphatic on a situation so that you pay attention to it. But we become so easily distracted and we are less focused. And you know, what are all of those distractions doing to us? They're paralyzing us. They're making us overwhelmed. They're getting us stressed out. And a big sign of burnout is the loss of attention and distractibility. We become so overwhelmed by everything that we're processing, and we are always processing. We live in a society where we're constantly processing what it is that's coming right to us. And that processing is causing us to burn out even more. You know, I just put on my website a whole bunch of signs and symptoms about burnout, because when I work with clients, the majority of clients are coming to me with some form of these symptoms, okay? The 10 symptoms that I highlight on the website around burnout are being overwhelmed, okay? Being critical of yourself or others. Being critical of yourself or others is a sign of burnout. You're exhausted. You're physically exhausted, but you're also mentally exhausted. You get annoyed easily, right? Because really you're getting upset that you can't process everything that's being put in front of you. So you become easily annoyed. You become isolated. You start to feel alone. And that's where a lot of people, when you're stuck, and that's number 6, is being stuck. That's a sign of burnout. When you're stuck and you're alone, you feel isolated. Number 7, you've lost control or feel like you're losing control of your life. Number 8, you're struggling in your relationships. Number 9, you're working, but you're going to work or you're running your own business and it's a drag and everybody around you in the business is suffering. And the last thing that I always like to talk about is choices. Choices. When you are in the brink of burnout, when you're on the brink of burnout, you don't feel like you have any choices or options. You don't see them. You don't see what's ahead of you on that road where that accident is. You don't have that bird's eye perspective of a helicopter hovering over to show you what all of your options are, what route to take, where to make the right turn, what exit to get off. You lose sight of all those things because you're stuck in the left-hand lane and there's nowhere for you to go. And you have no other choice but to go there. So that's what burnout feels like. All right, we're going to take a commercial break. Hey, listen, I want to hear from you. I want you to go to tommarino.com. I also want you to follow me on Instagram at Tom Marino Coaching. Go follow me on Facebook, Instagram at Tom Marino Coaching. I'm putting out a ton of content for people who are stuck, for people who are burnt out, people who are struggling in their relationships. So follow me on Tom Marino Coaching. All right, we'll be back after this commercial break and continue our conversation on our burnout.
Don't hold it back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why.
Welcome back to the Tom Marino Show. Thanks so much for tuning back in. Today we are talking about burnout and the types of clients that I serve and how really a coach is here to navigate you through those obstacles, right? That's my job. And before the break, we were talking about the 10 signs of burnout. And I want you to I'll go over that list one more time. It's being overwhelmed, critical of yourself or others, exhausted, easily annoyed, isolated, stuck, a sense of a loss of control or losing control of your life, struggling in your relationships, going to work and it's a drag and you're suffering. I want Mondays to be exciting for you. I want Mondays to be so exciting. You go, yeah, it's Monday. You know, today's Thursday and everybody's ready for the weekend. Why are you ready for the weekend? Because you're exhausted, you're tired, you've worked hard all week, and you're ready to get adrenalized. And you want that rejuvenation. But I want you to carry into Monday that rejuvenation from the weekend and not drag yourself out there. So if you find every Monday as a drag, maybe you're burnt out. Maybe it's time to change what you're doing. Monday mornings, I love Monday mornings. I love getting up, going to work, getting ready for work, getting ready for my day, getting ready to help people. That's what it's about. I want you to do that. I want you to live that way. So, and the last sign of burnout that we were talking about is not having choices or options. And I want you to have choices. I want you to have options, okay? I want you to see that you have plenty of options in the world. So, how do we overcome our burnout, right? How do we overcome this burnout? Well, one way is live adrenalized, right? You know, I talk about the adrenalized life. I talk about living adrenalized. And for those of you who would like to check out some really cool merchandise, go to liveadrenalized.com because I want you to wear how you want to feel. I want you to be adrenalized. I want you to see life as being able to act decisively, to not let those symptoms of burnout get in the way, and that you can live the best version of yourself. So recently I had an article published on Hitched magazine, hitchmag.com, and the article really was about adrenalizing you to overcome burnout, you know? And many of my clients, when they come to me, they're lacking the energy and the motivation because they're overwhelmed and they're overworked and they're stressed out, and of course, they're burnt out. And they say things like, I can't figure out what I want anymore, Tom. I don't know what I want anymore. I don't have any choices. I don't know what my options are. I'm trying to figure that out, and I don't know where to start. And that's where I come in. I come in to help you get started. I help you to start that road to change so that you can figure out what you want for your future. You know, my goal is to always move people to that adrenalized and excited place in life. I want you to feel fulfilled. I want you to feel motivated and confident. You know, it's a reminder when you live adrenalized that you have the choice to live the way you want. Every situation is an opportunity to learn or to grow. Every situation. You know, it was interesting when I was writing that article, I came across a study on Indeed. And they had compared January 2020 to January 2021. And in the report, 52% of respondents experienced burnout. 52%. That was an increase of 43% from pre-pandemic survey that they conducted. 43% increase. Because of the pandemic, 53% of employees are working longer hours and unable to unplug from work. So if I'm talking to you right now, you're just coming home from work or you're on your way home to work. I don't know. It depends on what shift you're working. But maybe you are working too many hours. And if you're working from home right now and you're listening to this while you're working from home, make sure you unplug at 5 o'clock. Unplug at 5 o'clock. Why? Because if you don't set that boundary for yourself, you're going to be burnt out. And that's where we are. So I want to adrenalize you to feel better about your life. If you're just tuning in, this is Tom Marino and the Tom Marino Show, Success Strategy Coach. I've rebranded myself as a success strategy coach. And the reason for that is I want every client The outcome of every encounter that I have with my clients is to be successful, is to have navigated through whatever obstacles in front of you. But how do we do that? Well, number one, clarify what you want, right? What do you want your life to be like? What do you want it to be like in the next year from now? What do you want to be true when you wake up every day? People are often unclear about what they want. And when that's the case, it's because you've lost sight of what you enjoy doing. Find the thing that you enjoy doing and do it more. Begin exploring more of that natural ability or that talent or that thing that brings you joy. Because your natural skills and abilities are usually a seed of personal wisdom that you are being told what you need to do. Listen to that. In contrast, people who know what they want, but they're often too afraid because of judgment from other people. So that stops people from doing what they want. And you know what? Being stopped by that, from doing what you want because you're afraid of what other people are going to say, well, that's going to make you really bitter and resentful. And it's only going to contribute to a worsening burnout that you're feeling. So if that's you right now, if I'm talking to you right now, where you're harboring some resentment because you're not doing what you would absolutely love to do because other people say, oh, maybe you can't do it, or oh, it's not the right time, or oh, no, stop saying your ohs and go and do it. Just do it. Live an adrenalized life. Act decisively right now. If you're miserable, change it. Do something about it. The other important thing to do is define your own standard for success. We spend our entire lives determining success based on what other people's success is. As kids, we are often compared to other kids, right? It creates actually a very false standard. We live in a world of social media where we experience other people's successes by what they post and they share. That's not necessarily true, people. Success begins with you. Determine what your success looks like. Create a vision of a day in your future where you're living successfully. What will that look like? I want you to develop your own standard of success. What does that look like? Is it financial success? Is it an abundance of love and finances? Is it you doing everything every day that you want to do? Is it you living your best self? The third thing I want you to do is set clear goals and expectations. Set goals that are specific. Set goals that are measurable. Set goals that you can get unstuck from. The more specific, the more measurable, the better you're likely at achieving them. Not necessarily easier, but the better. And lastly, prioritize progress over perfection. We stop doing things because we don't think that we're perfect. If we can't achieve perfection, we don't do it. Just start measuring your progress. Okay? Tonight, before you go to bed, I want you to think about the 3 things or the one thing that you achieved today. The one thing that you achieved today. The one thing you got done that showed that you made progress. I don't care if it was done perfectly. I don't care if that was the issue. I want you to focus on what did you do better? What did you do that you made a step in the right direction to your next step? That's all. Every night this week, go to bed, 1 to 3 things that you achieved that day. 1 to 3 things that you made progress on. All right, well, that's our time for today. This has been Tom Marino and the Tom Marino Show, Success Strategy Coach. Visit my website at tommarino.com. And listen, follow me on Instagram. I want to hear from you. Go leave a comment on my Instagram page. It's Tom Marino Coaching. That's Tom Marino Coaching. And if you want to change something in your life, if you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, burnt out, you're a small business owner, you're an executive, and you're not sure where your relationships are going, and you're really stuck and struggling in them, then reach out to me. On my website at tommarino.com, there's a contact form for you to fill out. I want you to fill out that contact form, and we'll set up a complimentary call, and we will get you to where you want to be. I will navigate you past your obstacles. All right, this is Tom Marino signing off saying, choose your adrenalized life.
No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why.